அந்த இளவயதில் ஆற்றங்கரை மணலில் காலடி தடம் பதித்தோம். யாரழித்தார்? நந்தவனக்கரையில் நட்டு வைத்த செடியில் மொட்டுவிட்ட முதற் பூவை யார் பறித்தார்? காதலர் தீண்டாத பூக்களில் தேனில்லை, இடைவெளி தாண்டாதே என் வசம் நான் இல்லை. தொட தொட மலர்ந்ததென்ன பூவே, தொட்டவனை மறந்ததென்ன? தொட தொட மலர்ந்ததென்ன பூவே, தொட்டவனை மறந்ததென்ன? பார்வைகள் புதிதா, ஸ்பரிசங்கள் புதிதா, மழை வர பூமி மறுப்பதென்ன? பார்வைகள் புதிதா, ஸ்பரிசங்கள் புதிதா, மழை வர பூமி மறுப்பதென்ன? தொட தொட மலர்ந்ததென்ன பூவே, தொட்டவனை மறந்ததென்ன?
Shruti from US, Padma from Sydney, and Vidya from Melbourne.
Hello.
And we guys are in a lockdown. Apparently, we're not allowed to go to Sydney. We can't go to New South Wales. The borders are closed just because the cases went high in the second wave. So it's just funny, and because even Padma was teasing us, saying, "Okay, inmates of Melbourne." Right. So before we start off, I was just wondering, because of course we've all met only recently via this community thing, which is amazing, which is growing like crazy, which is good. I was just wondering, should we just quickly introduce ourselves to each other and then just go from there? Shruti, maybe you start. I'll just pick you.
Yeah, okay, I'm on the spot. Just kidding. I'm Shruti Iyer. I have been in USA for the last 6 years now. I came for my master's. I did B.Pharm from India, so I'm a pharmacy person. And I did my master's here in pharmaceutical sciences, and then I continued in epilepsy research. So that's what I do currently. And yeah, music has always been like part of my life. AR sir, without question, has been part of my life, because that kind of correlated to music for me. When I was a kid, I used to dance to all the 90s songs of his, all Roja, everything came out at that time, and I was like 1 year, 2 year old. So my mom used to joke that I would actually start singing before I started even talking. So that was a funny part. Anyway, so yeah, I'm really like happy to be part of this group, like where we get to discuss his work and just generally connect with so many different people across countries. So thank you.
Like we are right now.
Yeah.
Cool. Maybe Vidya, you want to go next?
Yeah, so I'm Vidya Balan. It's been like 12 years since I have moved to Melbourne.
You just noticed, you just observed her last name too, right, Shruti?
Yeah.
I'm a Vidya Balan fan.
So that Bala is from my husband actually. So my name is Vanaj Vidya. So it's been like 12 years since I have moved to Melbourne. I came here for work actually. And then I'm here with, I have set my own family here. I've got like 2 nice kids, I would say. So my first one is Achintya. He's like turning 5 soon. The second one is Anika. So she's the new addition to the family. She's just 7 months old now. And she is introduced to A.R. Rahman songs.
Without an option?
Yeah. No. They have their own option, but they'll get it. There will be no denying there that they'll get those, magic from Sir's music. So yeah, like we do, like back in home, I was brought in a culture where, Carnatic music and Bharatanatyam was equal to your, curriculum activities. So yeah, very orthodox family, and then I just moved out, and it's a bit chilled now.
Mm. Yeah.
So after like 11 years or so, I started performing here. Started with A.R. Rahman sir's song Nettrilla Matram. So after that, life has changed for good, I would say. Both
Was it your
singing
first song ever that you heard from?
here.
Oh yeah.
I performed for
you performed.
theory performing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, like I was into classical, and my husband was the one who introduced me to karaoke world, to be honest. So he was the one who, trained me. Like we used to sing at home, like randomly,
Yeah.
with no one around. We just, sing our lung out, and I don't know. It was fun. It was fun actually.
Mm.
Only then I realized when I looked back, like IRA's music was there in the life throughout without even realization.
Nice.
I'm very excited, Chanda, for giving me this opportunity. I couldn't sleep last night, to be honest. I was just
Really?
thinking
Am I
about
that scary?
no, in a nice way. Because connecting to people on this community with AR's music, it's brilliant. I have never even thought that I'll be talking about to anyone, because WhatsApp group, I can't come out of that group, to be honest.
Nice.
It's very nice during this pandemic situation. Thank you for opening up this opportunity for us, Chanda. Or else I would have gone nuts, to be honest. Lockdown at the house, can't do anything much about it. But yeah, like I can't explain. A few things is you just leave that there to experience that rather than explaining it. So brilliant experience, I would say.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be doing something like this. That's how I take it. And when I first started, I was all by myself, and I just thought, you know what, I'm just doing this. Let's see whatever happens. And then magic happened later, but I'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Padma, maybe you?
Hi everyone, my name is Padmalata Rao. I'm from Sydney, New South Wales, and
Okay.
we are not locked down yet. Fingers crossed. And I'm a food scientist by profession, and I'm a professional singer as well. And I'm studying psychology by passion. So anyone, any help, you can always reach out to me. Unofficially, I can help you.
I just had a breakup. I'm just joking.
You can always contact me after that. And so coming to ARR community here in Australia, Chanda is the man behind this, who has introduced all of us and who has connected all the singers, musicians like Shruti and everyone through this community. And I'm very, very glad to have been connected to this community. And I used to think I was the crazy one, because all my friends used to make fun of me, like, why are you so obsessed with Rahman sir's music? Like whenever they see my Facebook story or WhatsApp story, it's always, my background song is always Yarar's music. And then when I came to this group, I realized I'm not the only maniac. There are so many Rahmaniacs here, like, who are equally crazy, and I was so glad. And Yarar's music throughout my lifetime, like since my childhood. I'm sorry if it makes Yara sir old, but since my childhood, don't tell me. But since my childhood, it's his music that has, inspired me to, start singing actually. And like any ups and downs in my life, I could always connect to his music. And if something makes me very happy, I listen to sir's music. If something makes me very sad, then also I listen to sir's music. So that's how I'm entangled in this music. And the very good thing about listening to sir's music is it gives such a peace to your mind. Like no matter how depressed you are, what you're going through, especially during this lockdown time, I play Sir's music 24/7, and like my daughter, you guys have seen her video. She's always dancing for Sir's concert. Like every weekend, that's her routine. Like she'll play his concert music on the TV, and she starts dancing and start playing music in her keyboard, and that's how the house atmosphere is like, and that's how I have been brought up as well. My dad was a very big fan of AR stuff,
Wow.
and he had bought me this Walkman. We used to get this Walkman during 90s. There I used to listen to all these songs, Tal and so I'm very, very thankful to Chanda for giving me this opportunity, and I look forward to be a part of this group.
It's my honor to have you all, because the best part is I was telling this to Sir as well during the podcast and after the podcast later when I was talking to him that music is just magical, where we are able to connect with people from different parts of the world. And then his viewpoint on that was, he said, look, he says that that is how should I say, the weapon that he has got, where he can communicate with millions and millions of people via music. And he said you can't actually do that visually, because you can do it visually, but it's very expensive. So I may not be able to afford all my songs to be visual, so I can communicate via music. And that's the way he said that, and it's been amazing. So thanks for your very kind words, because where it all started was I work in IT as well, and I'm into a lot of technical podcasts, and I go as a guest, I speak about tech and then come back. So I think it was at the start of the lockdown, somewhere early March, I think, it was early March. It was right after my trip. I was in Trichy for AR's concert in February, 14th, 15th and 14th, 15th and 16th I was there. So finished that, came back, and then so that's when the lockdown was starting to kick in. And so I was doing my technical podcast. I remember one of the days I finished it, and then it was so very draining, because I spoke for nearly about an hour and a half in that, and then I went back into my living room, sitting on the couch, was sipping a coffee, and then I thought, you know what, I'll look for AR Rahman podcast, and nothing came up. And you said, I was like, oh, you know what, I'm creating now. And I left my coffee on the kitchen bench. I made my way to JB Hi-Fi. JB Hi-Fi is one of the electronic stores here, Shruti. So it's like your Best Buy stuff.
Best Buy.
Sort of. And then so I went there, got straight away, like while I was in the store, I researched on what is it that I need to start a podcast. I researched there, saw the reviews, bought stuff. And in about 20-30 minutes, I was back home. I set it all up. And then I was like thinking, okay, where do I start? And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to call one of my friends I made in the Trichy concert. And that was Srikanth Hariharan, right? That's the singer, as you guys might know. I called him. I said, buddy, I think I've got an idea. We need to do this. And he said, okay, tell me about it. I told him, okay, this is what I'm thinking. I want to start a podcast. And I don't know how I'm going to pull it off, but I thought I'll start with you. He said, I'm game. Let's do this. When do you want to do this? I said, okay, today. And he said, hey, we'll do it tonight then. I said, okay, done.
Wow.
And that's where it all started. And once we did that, I called Bamba Bakya. And I told sir, Bamba sir, in the Mari start pannirkom nambo. Let's do this. And then I called him, and then he was like, Panla sir, repo varton. I said, okay, fine. Innike panla. So that's where it all started. And then one after the other, the support that I got was just amazing. And well, okay, I'm happy to reveal something which I've never ever done before. Is I did Bamba's podcast, and then I spoke to Sir. So I told him, sir, I have started this podcast, and the whole objective is to spread love and happiness. And actually, especially at this point in time, the whole world needs it. And I think I'm going to use this as a medium to connect with people and to spread love and happiness. And also at the same time, hopefully it gives some sort of, how should I say, a positivity for some of your colleagues.
Yeah.
And and he said he didn't say anything. He just smiled, and then that's it. And the journey began from there. And then I finished like about 3 or 4 guests, and then I wrote to Sir. I told him, Sir, the podcast has started off really well, and I am not a professional podcaster, and I don't have a brand backing behind me. So, and there is zero monetization. Everything is done out of pure love and respect. I was wondering if you want to come on the podcast. And he's like, when do you want me to come?
Oh my God.
So
I think you're blessed for your life now, Chanda. You're completely blessed. And Pampasar is your lucky charm. That should.
is it?
Yes.
Why do you
It's
say so?
because the curve is going on. You're getting right people on the community. It's just, it's spreading the love and happiness to everyone. See, I've been smiling after days. Like, I just joined to the community a couple of weeks back.
Yeah.
And
So
yeah.
it's
Yeah,
been amazing, and Sir has been very kind, and so he has been extremely supportive of this whole initiative, and and
Thanks
I.
for trusting us to tell all these things, Thank you very much.
So it's been magical. That's all I can say. So anyway, I'll stop there in terms of where it all started, because I'm sure we have heaps and heaps to talk about, and of course each of you have been through a journey, or you're on a journey right now as we speak. Like each one of us, we're all on a journey. So maybe Shruti, I'll put you on the spot again. Starting with left to right. I'll change it later. So I mean, of course, Ashwin, your friend, has been extremely supportive on this podcast initiative, because I still remember when I came up with my first ever podcast session, Ashwin was one of the guys who messaged me. The best part is, when I first started, I knew none of the guys in the group, right? And everyone was strangers. And Ashwin was one of the guys who messaged me saying, "Bro, you're doing something amazing. This is something that I had never come across before. I think you should take this forward," and stuff like that. And he was supporting me right from the start. And so many other people joined me along the line. So thanks to Ashwin, because through Ashwin, you connected with us, and it's been amazing. Thank you so much once again. It's great to have talents like yourselves, connecting from the US, and you're a singer by yourself, and I know you have long-term plans too. We'll chat about that anyway. But where did it all start? Like, what's your childhood been like? Did you always know that yes, music was the thing? I know you were singing before you spoke.
Yeah, so I think I was learning music. I learned a little bit of Carnatic basic because, it's part of our South Indian families. All of us normally learn Carnatic. He said one art form at least. And I learned, but I never took it seriously, honestly. I was like, first of all, I was in Mumbai. I was raised in Mumbai. So,
Okay.
It depends on where you stay in Mumbai. There are places which are very supportive of the Carnatic community, and there's like a lot of South Indians who form sabas and those kind of places.
Yeah, of course.
And there are other places where I live where Carnatic was not as supported as I would say other music forms were. So that was one of the reasons, because I couldn't perform in school and all. Like, people wouldn't be that interested when I or anybody else used to perform Carnatic.
Yeah.
So slowly my interest kind of waned from there, and I was more pulled towards. I think naturally also my voice is towards Hindustani a little bit.
Nice.
Because I have a bass voice and it goes with the Hindustani feel, the style of singing and stuff like that. I used to learn like light bhajan and devotional songs, Sugam Sangeet and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And although I used to go for like lots of competitions in school time, like I think everybody kind of associated me with singing, but I honestly never thought of taking it professionally, because I didn't think I could make it. I was like, this is great in like a small town or a city or something, but not probably for. Like when college and all time came, then I eventually stopped singing as much and just like regular college functions and stuff like that. Then I came to US also, and I was like, okay, research is going to be my career and all of that. But I think it so happened that like I went through like a little bit of a bad time, I would say, emotionally. Things happened.
Yeah.
And at that time, music as usual was my rock. And at that time I actually realized that I gain more pleasure out of music than collectively all of my job and my achievements and money, what I'm getting from the job. And I thought that if I don't take a chance and plunge into music full time, if I don't take this chance now, then 10 years down the line, I'm definitely going to regret it. Like, even if I fail, at least I should have like, okay, I failed, but I gave like 200% of it. And so I was like, okay, I want to try. I've always been that person. Like, I'm not impulsive every day, but when I am, then I follow it through. So I was like, okay, this impulse I got to act on. So I talked to my family and I made them understand that eventually I'm going to quit my job. I just have to learn enough to first go in that direction. I have resumed learning now, learning music.
So how do you learn? As in online or?
Online right now, yeah. My teacher is in India, so I'm learning.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm learning
Karnataka.
Hindustani.
Acha.
Hindustani.
Nice.
So eventually my dream is to go into playback singing, mainly because I want to sing for ARR sir. I don't have any other like
everyone does.
I think if I get to sing even one song, I think I will take that as an achievement, and even if I don't get anything after that, I'll be fine. But before that, I think I have to reach certain levels of learning. So that's where I am right now.
For sure. In fact, Sir himself says that he has so much to learn. Because still remember during one of the meetings, I was walking through about artificial intelligence and all that, and he was like, "Oh man, I have so much to learn." Anyway, sorry. So Padma, maybe you can go next. About your childhood, where did it all start, and did you always that music was the thing?
Yes. So I was raised in a very conservative Brahmin South Indian family. You know how it is, like, music takes a very major place. And I started with Carnatic and then went on to light music. I come from Bangalore, Karnataka. So we call it Sugama Sangeeta, like light music. So I started learning that, and then when I came to high school, I started going to music school called Sadhana Music School, which is run by a playback singer Manjula Gurraj ma'am.
Right.
That has helped me a lot. Like before that, I didn't know how to sing with the track. I could only sing with the Shruti. But I never used to try to sing with the track and all. But that is where I learned all this, and this to sing in the studio. I got introduced to all that. Then I came to Australia, and where I even though I was performing here and there, but there was this competition happening called Amazing Singer Australia. That was on the television, SBS channel, and then I went to the top 5, and then people started noticing and recognizing me in Sydney, at least, by watching that show. And after that, I got some recognition in the community as a singer. I would say that was probably the turning point. And then in 2018, Zee TV came to Australia. They did a show called Zee TV Superstars. This was for Asia Pacific, Zee TV Asia Pacific, and even there I made it to finals, and that was very, very good experience as well. And since then, I've been very actively singing in the community and in all the stage shows and some online concerts. Since now it's locked down, it's mostly online. But the major drive for me to, start singing is actually Rahman Sir's music. So without that, I probably don't think I would even take music seriously. Now I'm learning Hindustani from a very good guru from Sydney. Like I go and take classes from her. And it's beautiful that I'm learning every day, and the more and more you learn, the more and more you realize you don't know anything. Music is an ocean, right? Like we are like a very, very tiny drop in it. And no matter how much you learn Western, the Hindustani or Carnatic or any form of music, it makes you realize you are nothing. You have a very, very long way to go. So I am learning and getting better every day, but I still feel I'm ready.
Yeah, of course, like all of us do. So moving on, Vidya.
So yes, I said like I come from a very orthodox family. So my granddad used to have a strong tie with Dr. Balamurali Krishna sir. So one of his direct disciples was my guru. So Carnatic music was always there in the family, and I was actually sent to classes to learn Carnatic songs so that I can pick up the Veena classes, because Veena is my that instrument which I would die for, but for some reason or other it didn't happen, because I was more inclined to Bharatanatyam, and I learned Carnatic, but like when this I remember this Leo Coffee advertisement coming. I didn't know who A.R. Rahman sir was by then because I was too young. So whenever this ad comes, I just goes and peeps, and I just looks like I like that song, that Veena bit. That was awesome. And then after some years, I heard few songs. I didn't even knew that I was into A.R. Rahman sir's music, because at home we are not even allowed to watch movies. It was like that. But one song which really made me feel that I'm connected to A.R. sir's music was Aragi Nilave song from Pavitra.
Oh yeah, that's a great song.
That even I sing that as a lullaby for my kids. That song is very close to my heart. So that's how I started relating with A.R. sir's music. For me, music is emotion, because that runs in us. Like all our emotions are bind up with music. So when I'm down, I listen to music to get back my energy from the music. And when I'm so happy, I make sure that the volume is up high and the whole house will be trembling. And I don't mind, I'm like that. So so I was very active in music and dance during my school days. I was given so many awards. Like I won so many accolades national wise. I was a national level Bharatanatyam dancer.
Yeah.
Coming to Melbourne, I was very busy with my work, and I didn't I would say that I was very workaholic by then, and I didn't even think about music or dance for a while. And when I started thinking about it, I got my first son. But luckily my husband is so supportive that after many years, after a decade, I would say I started performing in 2018.
Oh yeah.
And till 2019, when I was with my daughter in my first trimester, I was still performing till then.
Nice.
Now I have taken a break, and then hopefully I'll be waiting for the lockdown to actually release off. So I have done few fun relief programs with Satish band from India. So higher orchestration people who worked with legends like Ilayaraja sir and A.R. Rahman sir too. So I have sung few songs with them. And there is another project going up now which has got like many artists involved for this COVID. I think I'll be getting the music released today. So I'm one part of that particular project. It's been running for a couple of weeks now. So we are just getting people from different cities or different countries throughout the world to just sing few lines to dedicate that to Sir. I can't talk more about that because it's still in pre-processing stage now.
Nice. Great.
On the whole, I really, when we talk to each other, it's just, I feel that it's meant to happen this way.
I still remember when, as part of the early stages of the podcast journey, I invited a bunch of guys from the group like Sunil, Anoop, and Rohit and Naushad. All these guys came, and then I think two of the guys were actually in tears talking about AR and then his music and all. They actually got emotional.
Yeah. I totally understand that.
Actually, just now I got very emotional, when I started it. in the beginning, and I tried to control it because my voice was very shaky, and I was like, control.
I actually thought it was my internet connection.
Even I thought
When
so.
I
Even
get emotional, I get very nervous. Like my voice starts shaking, and that's like I'm like, okay, control your emotions. I've learned the technique, after studying psychology. I'm like, I can control. Before, I used to break down on stage, like, if I'm singing a very emotional song, I get very emotional, and then actually people can make out like my eyes are very teary, and then everyone would come and ask me, "Are you all right? Are you all right?" Backstage, I was that emotional, and then slowly, I started learning how to control my emotions.
Yeah, amazing.
Very difficult task. Trust
That
me.
actually reminds me of something. So when I was in Trichy in February, I went there to meet Sir exclusively, obviously, and then as part of that, I attended the concert. And then Sir saw me. It was the day before the concert. On the 15th was the concert, so 14th was the rehearsals going on. And Sir was up on the stage, and I was right in the front beside the stage. And then Sir saw me, and he said, "Come." And so I went by the side of the stage, and then he came down. And then he said, "What's up, man? How are you?" And then I could not speak anything. He's like right in front of me, and 250 people surrounding. They're all super quiet, just waiting for me to finish the conversation. And then yes, I mean, Sir was like, he's waiting, and I'm speaking, and I myself could not hear because there was nothing coming out of my mouth. Almost a minute, nothing uttered out of my mouth, and then he smiled and he tapped on my back. He said, "Come on, tell me." And then we started talking, and his sense of humor is amazing. I don't know if you guys know about it, but so it's out of the world, and he cracked so many jokes. I cracked one or two, and we were talking more, and then that was when he was wanting to know more about what I do in Melbourne, what do I do in my technology and all that. And he remembers absolutely everything he speaks, and he'll remember everyone as well. That's the best part. And we spoke. He gave me 15 minutes to talk to him, and then at the end of it, then he asked me, "Chandra, may I go now?" I did not want to say yes. I said, "Sir, can I please hug you?" And he said, "Yeah, come."
So like.
And then I hugged him, and then 250 people pounced on him, literally, as he walked to his cabin.
Oh,
So
nice
that
to share
you
that
spoke to
experience.
him,
It literally made us feel like we experienced that. Seriously,
Yeah.
I
So
goosebumps when I heard that.
the moment I think about all that, even now, it just gives me goosebumps because I know that's the aura he has, and that's the aura he had even when he came on the podcast, and it's a magical aura which I could never explain. So,
And also when he talks about music, it's like a university lecture that I'm listening to. Like, you can learn so much just by listening to any of his interviews. I think for any music student, that's what you want. Like he's supposed to be like a music lecturer or something. So it's very good with explaining things in a very simple way.
Yeah, that's true. And Shruti, coming back to you again, of course, you are still part of the Indian Raga thing, right? And then the video that you shared to us in the group, it was just amazing. You guys did a great job. It was a very well done and executed project, I would say. It was very well done. I mean, not that I was looking for flaws in it, but it was very well executed, actually. It didn't look like an amateurish one.
Yeah, actually, it turned out pretty well than we even expected. Because this video had to be shot twice.
Oh yeah.
So first time we shot it at the fellowship. So normally for fellowship, what happens is we all meet at one place, and so far we before that we would all usually only collaborate online.
Yeah.
And we make like a basic track and just compose up and those kind of things. During the fellowship, we actually physically meet, and then there's a recording time for music recording, and then there's a video shooting time. So unfortunately, it so happened that during the video shoot of that Senorita video, the videographer messed up certain things, and the shots were completely unusable.
Oh no.
So we saw it later because we had back-to-back shoots. Everybody has shoots, so there was no time to check the footage at that time.
Yeah.
So we saw it later, and the editor said, "I just can't use any of it."
Oh wow.
So then I had to fly to San Francisco, where the other Shruti lives, and we got a videographer then. He was like brilliant. So he was only one person, but he managed to cover a lot of like different ways of cinematography. And yeah, I think that really made a difference. And then we worked on the audio a little bit after the post-production as well from home.
Okay.
So the Hindi part of that song is all original composition.
Oh yeah, it's a great
Yeah.
song actually. Yeah, I love
Thank
it.
you. Yeah, so Shruti and me, we composed it together, and then we had another lyricist. Yeah.
Oh,
And-
really? You composed it?
Yeah. Mostly, yeah, it was the two of us, and then the other two instrumentalists added a lot of stuff as well to it.
Oh wow,
And then-
that's
Just in the fellowship, so she does lyrics for Bollywood and other independent albums also. So she helped us with the Hindi lyrics.
oh wow, that's amazing. So what does it involve to get into this fellowship that you're talking about? Just sort of curiosity.
So they have like the Indian Raga, they have normally maybe twice and now at least thrice a year in USA. And they have in other countries as well. See, they have in India and London. I don't know about Australia. I can really think. I think they're about to start in other
At
places.
least, I think at least not for Melbourne. We are in the jail now.
Yeah, I mean here
Yeah.
also everything is going online. So yeah,
Yeah.
and it can work. But so they have like an audition process for instrumentalists, for singers, dancers, different types of dancers, different types of singers. So contemporary, classic, Carnatic, classical, Hindustani, everything. So
Right.
yeah, like a couple of steps. You have to submit certain videos, and then they give you feedback on it. And then they have, they have like a shortlisted amount of people, and then you have to come up with ideas. And then if the idea passes, then you go to the next round, all of your.
Right. Okay. Amazing.
And then we start executing that idea that gets passed.
So how long did it actually take the whole thing for that video?
Yeah, that takes took like good 2 months for
Oh
us.
really?
Because online becomes very hard to jam.
Yeah.
If you want to try out like a guitar group, then we have to tell the guitarist, you record and send, and then we separately have to try on it, instead of like all of us and being in the same room and they just start playing, we just start singing. Much more like organic and fast. That's the online is a bit of a challenge, but now I think in COVID situation, like life has
That's
become
the only way.
so now I think nobody minds.
So actually, talking of COVID, how do you keep yourself positive? Like, what motivates you? I know music. I'm sure music might be one of the answers that all of us might give. But what other things do you do to? I'm asking this because this might inspire others. And so, just curious, like, what are the things that you do to keep yourself motivated and positive in a situation like this that we have never been through before? I know it's a non-ARR topic, but I think it's worthwhile.
I mean, music, in the sense that I'm trying to learn new things that I didn't have time for. So ukulele is one of them, which is on my agenda for too long now. Second thing is I actually want to start learning keyboard as well. So
wow.
Yeah, I was actually talking to Ashwin about it, that if he can teach me, because he is a pianist.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
I was like, okay, you can teach me if you do online classes. So I'm just about to start that. And me and Shruti, we have like a lot of online projects going on. So we keep each other motivated. So we have days where we are like, I sound terrible. I don't think I can sing ever in my life. I'm sure Padma, Vidya, both of y'all must have those days also as artists. Like, absolutely, like,
Yeah.
Tell me about it. And the mood swings that we have.
Yeah.
So I normally call her and then she'll be like, no, it's okay. It's just today, it's fine. And then same. And then we give us each other exercises to do and stuff like that. So we keep each other motivated like
Oh
that.
really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very nice.
So it's good to have a buddy.
I also host a show, like a interview music live
I
show.
remember seeing that. Yeah, I forgot to ask you about it. Tell me about
Yeah. So Dil Ki Baat is like a channel on Facebook, and they recently approached me. Like I know them like a little bit because we've done some promotions
Yeah.
through them.
Yeah.
But then they wanted me to like host this interview live show kind of a thing. So last week I got Abhijit Sawant on
Yeah,
the
I
show.
saw that. Yeah.
Just talking to him. Yeah, so that's been a good, and then other artists also. Like I had one of my lyricist friends come on there. Vinod Krishnan was one other guy from Indian Raga as well. I think he only shared his Shivaranjani video.
I shared something.
Yeah, I think he was discussing how ARR sir used Shivaranjani.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. Some reason that came up on my feed, and I think it's interesting. Let me watch this, and that's how I shared it. Otherwise, I don't follow these guys.
Yeah. He's a creative director of Indian Raga.
Oh really?
Oh.
Yeah. He became popular for that Shape of You Karnataka.
Oh yeah. That's it.
Yeah, I've seen that video.
That was a
Yeah.
good one. I liked it.
Yeah.
One of my interviews, and he is just like he's a big ARR fan as well, and he'll just go into like this depth about of all composition. And
You know what? We should get him on the podcast.
Yes.
yeah, definitely. I think he'll be happy to do that because the Zoom, the video that you shared, if you see, he has I think shared bits of it. If you see the complete video, they have basically discussed all of ARR's composition, the ragam, the arrangement, and stuff like that. So it was a very,
Okay,
very
a bit later.
interesting, very interesting conversation.
Wow. Okay. We should
This
get.
week, I have the other guy, Geetesh Iyer. He was also on that video, on that same Zoom video.
All the Ayers have got together, huh?
The Iyer part.
Yeah.
So he's
Yeah.
coming live with me this week on Dil Ki Baat. And
Oh
I
really?
think, yeah, just like chat and him singing. Yeah. So that is like something new. I never thought I'll be anchoring ever in my life.
Are you enjoying?
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah, great. Maybe on that note, do you want to sing a line or two of your song from Indian Raga thing that you did?
Oh yeah, sure. पहली ही नजर में जाना एक जादू सा लगा हो जाना कुछ बातें अनकही इस दिल ने ही सुनी हर धड़कन में हूँ ला 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 बस तू ला 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 कैसे ये बताऊँ कैसे समझाऊँ तुझे छूके तुझको हाथों से बांधे तुझको हाथों की डोरी चोरी खींचे अपनी आंखों से बातें बना बना के कोरी चोरी चली वहाँ जहाँ हो आसमां तेरा मेरा ओ ला 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 सुनो जरा हो जाने जा मेरा भया ooh la 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 land in Miami there was hot from summer rain sweat dripping off me before I even knew her name la 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 it felt like ooh la 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 I love it when you call me señorita I wish I could pretend I didn't need you, but every touch is ooh la la la. It's true la la la. Ooh, I know it's na 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 na.
Beautiful, beautiful. Love it. Nice one. Wow, and the best part is, I mean, you kept your eyes open and sang that because the reason why I mentioned this is because a number of artists have come on the podcast. Mostly, I would say 7 out of 10 generally close their eyes and sing, and maybe 1 or 2 are actually looking at me, smiling and singing. I wonder, how do you even do this?
I think I need eye contact with my audience. That's the
Oh,
kind
yeah?
of thing. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because I'm singing like a devotional song, which needs a little bit more concentration there.
Yeah.
That I need eye contact very much.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's a good one. Okay. Right. And then maybe I'll jump over to Vidya maybe. Vidya, what do you want to tell us? I'm sure you'll talk a lot about your Bharatanatyam and stuff too. So
Yes. To start with, I have related my emotions with most of the songs with Sir. Like say for example, when I miss my brother, I do have my elder brother. So he was the one who introduced the songs of ARR Sir to me. It was Roja, and he was the one who got. You remember those days we get the song books.
Yeah.
The books.
Oh yeah.
So he used to collect those books, and we used to sing, sing the lyrics with each other, because I was into Carnatic, and whenever we do that, we make sure that my mom was not around, because she is like, "Nah, go take your music notes and you do that." It's like, no, because this was very nice. We could easily relate it to the music. So me and my brother used to do that. And when this Rangila came, so that's when we had a first CD player at home.
Nice.
He got the CD. So whenever he plays that, he makes sure that people in the second floor can hear that song from the ground floor.
Yeah.
He was a crazy AR fan, and he was the one who introduced, such things to me. Like whenever he says he's a big fan of Rajinikanth, I used to say I am a big fan of Rajinikanth too. So that's how I was introduced to ARs as music and songs. And then after a few years, when I was choreographing myself, knowing or not knowingly, I was taking most of AR songs, like Rete Klavi song from Jeans, Kannodu Kanbadala, that song.
Yeah.
And then Saukyama Kanne Saukyama. And then I even trained my kids with Chinna Chinna Mari Tholigal Sethu from In Swasakatre.
Yeah.
So for me, I would say that, I don't know, for some reason, my mom had this thinking that, we are into this classical family, and you're not, that's not that music you are supposed to hear or whatever like that. But then I proved my mom wrong, that, that's not the case. I can, choreograph beautiful classical dance with AR song.
Yeah.
That's the greatest part of him, because he has this very westernized music and pure classical genre. Most of the songs have got pure classical raga in his music. I'm just learning those songs now.
True.
Because back then I was only involved in the lyrics and the music and how it made me feel good. But technicality wise, when you look back, he's way ahead of us.
Of course.
Like, to understand a single music, I think that a single birth is not enough. Every day you find something new or other. I'm getting excited again.
That's good. That's the whole point.
Calm down, lady.
Yeah, good. Very cool.
Yeah, brilliant songs. Like whenever I feel very, whenever I miss my brother, I used to hear this song, Kattalam Kattuveli, from Kilakku Seemaiyile.
Yeah.
Vandi Maadu Ettu Vechi Munne Pogudamma. That song, I feel that my brother is with me. That emotion, I got that emotion when I was doing my schooling. I was not even married by then. I think that is, the strength of Sir's music. You are into that music. And after coming to Melbourne, the one song which I felt that I was not away from home was Tamil Anthem. Sendamil Anthem.
Oh yeah, Semmuriya. Oh yeah.
That song, I remember playing that in loop on and on and on. And my husband was like, "What's wrong with you?"
Nice.
I loved it. So the Soumya ma'am's voice in that. I used to sing that with her all the time. It's like, that's fine. There are incidents like, I love Lagan. And I love to play those musics in the car while traveling. And I broke the car stereo, just playing that CD on and on and on, and it got stuck there.
Nice story.
Yeah, there are so many things, here and there. When I recall them, it just amuses me. Like, oh my God, I didn't even realize that I was such a big fan of ARSR, to be honest.
Nice.
Few things you don't realize, right? You just live that moment, you just pass by, you just go on with your life. And when someone asks you, how do you think, that has been impacted? only then you know that, oh yeah, this has happened, you know.
Nice. Very cool.
He like because he was asking about the COVID, this
Yeah.
Vellai Pukal song, that
Vellai Pukal, oh yeah, that's a great song.
to be honest, I love that song.
Mm.
I love that song and I feel good. It's a feel good song.
Mm.
But during this situation, that song has given me hope.
Nice. Oh
Because
wow.
it's postpartum depression and everything. Because I was locked down since November last year, and I was like, you know, I felt I missed everything. My work, my
Mm.
my performances, my friends, everything was missed.
Mm.
But this one song made me feel good.
Amazing.
That only then I realized. So that emotion, like people from Sri Lanka, the reason why they feel. When you put up in that situation, you'll understand, that what it makes to you and your life, that particular thing. I'm lost of words when it comes to that song. It's a very brilliant song. I think it was not well used in the movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched the movie, so
That song is amazing, and I really like the way it was showed different. Like it was an album also, because Sarah used to sing with this white background and everything.
yeah.
Please check that song out after this, podcast session. You'll definitely love that. During this period, definitely you'll love it.
Maybe since you mentioned so much about the song, do you want to sing a line?
Yeah, I think I remember the lyrics, but I'll try. வெள்ளை பூக்கள் உலகம் தினமும் மலரவே, விடியும் உலகம் அமைதிக்காக விடியவே, மண்மேல் மஞ்சள் வெளிச்சம் விழுகவே, மலரே சோம்பல் முடித்து எழுகவே, குளத்தை விழிக்கட்டுமே தாயின் கதகதப்பு, உலகம் விழியட்டுமே மெல்லிய குழந்தையின் சிரிப்பு, வெள்ளை பூக்கள் உலகம் எங்கும் மலரவே.
Nice. It's not.
I think about my daughter when I sing this song, because she's very it's just 7 months old.
Nice.
So that feel, when he sings that, that feel you get is that hug from your mom. You feel so safe and secure when you hear that song.
Nice. Great. So thanks for that, Vidya. Maybe moving on, Padma. Lucky last.
Yeah.
And of course, Padma is also into theatre and stuff. So I'd love to hear more about that too.
Oh wow.
Yes, I'm
How do you make time for all this?
as well. So I'm a model, professional model as well. So I'm into music, acting, modeling, a whole lot of creative stuff. Anything to do with creativity, I love to get involved in that, and I do a lot of pencil sketches.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Oh wow.
Yes. This is a theatre initiative called Nautanki Theatre. It's a very good theatre in Sydney. So we do a lot of community projects, and since it's COVID-19, we were trying to create awareness in the community, but in a fun way. We have done few skits, funny skits, but at the same time we do have some message at the end of it. Like how to maintain social distancing, how important it is to wash your hands, and how important it is to wear gloves, mask, and everything. So it's a very good concept. When they approached me for this project, I was very thrilled, and I said yes. And that was my first theatre project with
Really?
them.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
And it came out very naturally. And I have also acted in few of the music videos.
Okay.
And my own music video is coming soon. The shooting is pending.
Which song?
Because of the COVID-19, one is my the cover song of Netre Lada Matram.
Yeah.
Yes. that the shooting is still pending, and there is 2 more original songs coming up.
Nice.
Everything is stuck because of this COVID thing, like because for the shooting we need a lot of people as well for that. So yeah.
Nice. So is that what is keeping you positive and motivated?
Yes, definitely. And also I'm studying psychology. That was the main reason I took up that course in this lockdown.
Oh, you just took it up actually then.
Yeah, it started like during February, like when I started, and then we went into lockdown and all these things, right? And also I felt, it will kind of help me. And also by end of this course, I think it will be finished in November. By end of it, I can be, eligible to help people.
Mm.
I'm sure people would come out of the other end with a lot of depression, and so many people would have lost their jobs, going through so many tough times. I thought this is something I should take up and help people in the community.
Nice. Very cool.
That is why I started that course, and that has helped me a lot personally as well, and of course music. And we do a lot of jamming sessions online as well, which has helped me.
Yeah. I remember. On that note, maybe I know your Netrillada Matram song was amazing. I remember, this was the very early stages of the podcast. Maybe I would have done like 5 or 6 guests, and then out of the blue, I got a message, "Hi," and that was Padma. and then that's how we connected. In fact, each one of us, we've all connected, one way or the other. And then I remember she shared the link. She said, "You should hear this cover song." And then I said, "Oh yeah, sure, share it." And then I heard it and it was great. And minute after that, I told her, "You know what, you should come into our community." And I didn't have the website and all that then. I said, "Okay, boom," I added her straight. And then I told her, "Share your song here." And in that, I think at that point of time, there were only 4 of us in the entire group.
Yeah.
Community. Myself, Naushad, and then like 3 guys from Australia. That's it. And then Padma was the only girl who first came into the group or the community. And then she shared the link, and those guys were blown away too. So, yeah. So maybe a line or two from that song.
Definitely. I haven't warmed up my voice. Please excuse me.
We're not judging.
Because it's very cold here. மீற்று இல்லாத மாற்றம் என்னது, காற்று என் காதில் ஏதோ சொல்லுது, இதுதான் காதல் என்பதா, இளமை பொங்கி விட்டதா, இதயம் சிந்தி விட்டதா, சொல் மனமே, மீற்று இல்லாத மாற்றம் என்னது, காற்று என் காதில் ஏதோ சொல்லுது.
Nice, well done.
Sorry, I haven't warmed up my voice.
I felt that BGM, she dances with a shawl like that. I still remember that scene.
Yeah. Yes.
So, interestingly enough, the thing is, I have always been thinking that I am probably the craziest when it comes to his music and all that. But the thing is, as part of this journey, what I've realized is there are a lot more crazy people out there. What you may have realized being part of this community is guys actually know which scene it is for what BGM, and then they remember even the camera angle and stuff like that. I'm like, are you guys even serious? He said, "How could you not remember?" I said, "Because I have not watched the movie."
So the BGM of Sirs is like, I used to play in my mind in my real life situations, okay?
Oh yeah?
But I'm in a shocking
This is
situation.
news. Okay.
And this drama keeps going on in my mind, like this is the BGM for this particular thing.
Wow.
So that's how connected I am to the music of Sir especially. I don't know, others may not have affected so much. I don't know, it's just my psyche, it just connects so well.
Wow, interesting. What about you, Shruti?
I used to love, I still love Jodha Akbar's background music. It plays in my head all the time, like when she enters the castle, that background that plays.
Amazing.
It's like I love that. And the whole album of Jodha Akbar, I felt like
For sure.
the way royalty came, the royal feel came through music as well as visuals. To come through music is very, very hard. Like to portray that kind of music, which makes you feel that royalty, both in terms of background and like Azimo Shah Shenshah. When you hear the whole song, like the folk beat that he's used, the small like instruments and the percussion instruments that he's used in that, and it fits so beautifully with the visuals because people are actually like playing and dancing in it, and there are multiple people, so you hear all of those layers in the song and that power at the same time.
So
I personally love that album just because of the variety of music. You have Khwaja Mere Khwaja, which is completely like free music. Then there is one, and then again, like if you go into the layers of Khwaja Mere Khwaja, that's another like story in itself. Then you go into Kehne Ko Jashn Bahara, it's like romance but longing mixed. It's kind of in the middle somewhere there. Then this Azimo Shah Shenshah is one song which is totally different. And then all the other background music that comes, like if you see in every part, like a lot of feeling that you get in the movie is actually because of the background music.
So true.
So it was very beautiful, that whole album. And then another thing I like for the background music is Water.
Yeah, that is beautiful.
The Vaishnava Janato rendition that is there in Water is...
It was mind-blowing.
It's, and then the whole background music, of course, conveys that suffocation of widows in that ashramam. Background, there is not much songs with lyrics in that movie, if you see, except for Vaishnava Janato and maybe one other, I forgot.
I feel Sir can give music to any movie, even without any dialogues or anything in it. Still, you can connect to the story, and you can connect to what is happening in that movie. We don't even need any dialogues or nothing is there. Just the music is enough to make you understand the storyline. And I want you to ask what goes on in his mind when he gives music to, like especially the BGMs and all, when he makes BGMs, what goes on in his mind? If you can ask that question.
So, not that this might be the answer to your question, but this is something that I lightly touched on with my conversation with Nakul, because Nakul works closely with Sir, and he actually works on some of the he is working on some of the projects as we speak, not just singing, actually managing the project from a production perspective and all that, and he's also doing programming and all that. So what he said was, it may not be an answer to your question, but he said the way Sir approaches it is, Sir's usually very, very chilled out in the studio. He's always buzzing, and there's enormous amount of positivity when he's there in the studio, and the studio is usually very, very busy, and it's only during now in the COVID situation that it's like it has a deserted look. Otherwise, it's a very, very busy place. So there's various songs that's happening, and what Sir has done is he has delegated a number of things to his team. So, for example, Tumbi Tullal was delegated to Nakul himself. He has heard that song thousands of times even before it was released, and it was his own song, and he recorded Shreya Ghoshal, right, singing for that song. So and usually and then that the Carnatic piece that comes in between in Tumbi Tullal, right? It was one of the other assistants his task was to go research on that Carnatic thing. So Sir basically gave some pointers saying, this is what I'm thinking, and go research and come back. And then so there was a lot of trial and errors, and then that's how they landed up with that Jagada thing, right? In that that was so magical. According to me, that's the magic in that song. Maybe because I have this, like, my party used to be a Carnatic music teacher in the past and all that, and then I have that, what do you call that, Kelvi Jnanam. So, but I can't sing in terms of Carnatic and all, but that's pretty much the knowledge I have. Anyway, back to your thing. And then Sir, he said this is what the magic that he has seen happen in the studio is, where Sir goes into his room, he shuts it, he prays, he comes out, and then about 10 to 15 tunes, one after the other, he smashes it.
God.
So that's something coming from up then.
From divine,
Yeah.
and like what Sir says, and when the podcast with myself and Sir comes out, eventually you'll notice that I have touched upon these aspects, and I've also asked him more specifically about, he has the habit of lighting a candle when he's composing and all that, right? So he has answered to all those things, and it's very, very interesting. I don't want to give it away now, but it's
I really look forward to the.
Me too.
yeah, it'll come out eventually.
I heard in one of Michael Jackson's interview as well. He does exactly the same thing. That
Yeah,
it comes from something above, like
correct.
after that time is passed, even he can't imagine how it came.
Yeah.
That's when he choreographed. He locks himself up and he prays, and then he gets it. So
Wow.
something spiritual.
Wow.
And he also mentioned in one of the interviews, whatever the best choreography I've done, the steps that have come out, it's come something from up, and things that have not come out well, it's probably come from me. That's what he said, and it's very similar story what I can hear from you.
Yeah. So I mean, this is something that Nakul said just as of last week, and it was very, very interesting to hear something like that. And then what else? So he's basically working on a couple of projects, and Sir approaches it this way, and it's just magical, I would say. That's all. And then we're all blessed to be living in this era called A.R. Rahman.
So
Yeah, definitely.
Vidya, maybe coming to you, tell us anything that you want to say when it comes to A.R. Rahman.
there are a few songs, I just go to a different world when I hear that songs. It's like Tirakada Katripole from Enswasa Katra.
Yeah.
I like when I listen to the song, closing my eyes, I feel that I've been floating up in the air and I've got a waterfalls just flowing around me. It just takes me to a different world altogether.
Do you
I'm
guys
sit-
visualize anything while you listen to music, Shruti?
I do.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And this song, Kalagalavena Poriyum Megam from Rhythm.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
Kalagalavena Poriyum Megam engu selludo.
Sadhana Sargam one, right?
Sadhana Sargam.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that song. When whenever I listen to that song, every time that surrounding would be changing. It's not the same surrounding. It depends upon my mood. Whenever I hear that song,
So you generally close your eyes and then visualize?
yes, I do. If I really like those songs, I don't want any disturbances. I just go to my room, close it down, and then close my eyes, and I just visualize. I go to a different world. When I'm low, I do that.
It's more like meditative.
Yeah, it's a therapy for me. Like music is therapy for me, and definitely here's few songs. They're very close to my heart, and I am like a person. Like when I hear someone, disturbing that emotions or that essence, I can't hold back my tongue. I just say that no, that's a nice song. Please don't. It's like that. There are so many such songs like which are very, very close to my heart, and this song from Kangalal Kaidisai.
Oh, yeah.
When everyone prays Thee Kuruvi, I really love this song. Chinmayi's song.
Ennuiritoriye.
Innuyitholi. Oh my God, that song. When I saw that for the first time, because I listened to that song before seeing it. When I saw that, I was like, man, what have you done with that song? I couldn't take it. I have never seen that song ever. Even when they play that anywhere, I try to listen to that rather than watching it.
Yeah.
Same goes to Chillama Chilikama, that song. Such a lovely song. And you could see the heroine jumping up and down. And I was like, oh my God, such a lovely song. Like, a few songs would have been left undisturbed, That is one of those songs.
Yeah.
And Taxi song gives me that, energy back to me.
Right.
And this song, No Problem song.
Oh, yeah, even I like that.
Because I used to tease my mom with that song. With the A.R. Rahman version song.
Yeah.
Western ungalukku vilayattu, no problem. I used to tease her a lot with that. Oh my God, yes. Like,
Do you guys remember that song? no problem, Shruti.
Yeah. Yeah. I was
Right.
very young when that movie came.
And yeah.
But I think I started watching Tamil movies because of Rahman sir. I'm a non-Tamil girl, and till today, like if I sing in Tamil, it's only because of sir's music, because I want to learn his
Mm.
songs,
Mm.
and I can only do justice if I learn that language.
Mm.
That's the reason I started learning Tamil. Like I
Okay.
asked all my Tamil friends to, correct my lyrics, correct my diction and everything, because I feel if I have to do justice, I need to know like each and every word and the meaning, and I
Yeah.
write it down in my language,
Mm.
Kannada.
Mm.
Like below the lyrics, I write it down how I need to pronounce it in a proper way.
Mm.
So his music is something which made me so dedicated in writing down the lyrics actually
Yeah.
properly.
Yeah.
So that's only because of him. I think I was not that serious before. When I was singing, I would just hear it and then sing it. But it's not like that. If you have to actually do justice to his
Mm.
song,
Mm.
you need to, know the native language properly.
Right.
Like at least with help of friends like you. And also one thing I just remembered when I was listening to Vidya,
Yeah.
one of my Aussie friends, he came to me and said that he's feeling very blank, like no feelings, nothing. For some time, he was feeling, I wish I could feel something. I feel very, feeling no feelings at all. Like I feel very blank, and I think it's not a right thing.
Mm.
And I told him, I gave him a list of songs of Sir to listen and then come back to me and tell me if you are still not feeling any emotions.
Mm. Mm.
And he did listen to it, and he came back to me and thanked me, because he said, due to something happened in his life, that he had shut himself off from not feeling any emotions.
Wow.
And his songs made him feel all the emotions, like Navarasa we call it in
Mm.
Kannada. So all the emotions, he could feel it. He could bring his tears again, like he had not cried for such a long time.
Getting
And-
goosebumps here, Ma.
And that day I realized there's something scientific behind his music that plays with the psyche of a human brain. So it can bring out all the, if you have to be emotionally healthy, you need to feel all the emotions, right?
Very true.
Block it, that's not healthy at all. So
Nice.
his music has helped him a lot. That I just remembered now, and he came back and thanked me.
Interesting. Actually, you just reminded me of something. One of the Aussie friends again. Obviously, on my Facebook timeline, it's all about ARR, and then there's absolutely nothing else. And then this guy said, he messaged me saying, "What is this I love ARR thing? Who is this guy?" And I said, you know what? Before I go ahead and explain to you who this guy is all about, here's a couple of songs that you need to go and hear, and then you come back to me later. And then he came back in like 5 minutes, and because the first thing he clicked was Rainmaker song from Harmony with AR, the series, the Amazon one. And he heard that and he said, man, this was mind blowing. It was like, I've never heard something like this before, and the quality is outstanding as well. And since then, he's been following Sir's music. How funny is that? And in fact, I remember during one of the meetings, I showed that screenshot to Sir, and he was just smiling. Yeah. So the thing is, I mean, look, I know we can just go on and on and on, talk about Sir's music, because it does have a huge impact on us. But going back to the childhood again, I still remember. I would, go run to the music shop to get the cassettes and the CDs later, and to see all the CD credits and all that, the inlay card and all that. Did you guys do this too, or was it just me, or does it bring back any childhood memories? Maybe Shruti, starting with you again.
I remember getting Lagan cassette, and it used to have lyrics behind it, and that's where I used to learn, because those days we didn't obviously have like internet where we could just look up the lyrics. Either you have to listen to the song 10 times and write it, or look at the song books which you have to buy again. So this was like, I used to love that song where the English portion comes in, Ore Chori.
Oh yeah,
It was such a transition to the waltz music
so
where
true.
they're dancing in the movie, and it goes back to the folk Ore Chori. And that was like, I used to be so, I mean, I was in love with that song as a kid. I definitely remember that song. That song and Mukabala, the
Oh
two
yeah.
songs. Just because of the sheer amount of like transitions and elements which were there, and it just takes you to that the essence of that particular music.
So
So in Mukabla you get that cowboy, that whole feeling.
Yes.
You know, the lyrics are Tamil, and the lyrics are also like fun lyrics in Tamil. I like Tamil lyrics better than the Hindi one. I think that it just got lost in the translation.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's just so much of fun and spark. And even if you like listen to Chikkabukku Raile, the whole animation, do you guys remember
yeah,
that?
of course. The
Yeah.
loud thing, the arrow and all that.
It's like, the music goes so well with that whole thing. It was like just fun, at the same time like so catchy. So I think I definitely like, yeah, I have memories with those songs as a kid.
So do you want to sing a line from any of those songs? Choices.
I don't. So I have the same problem because I was raised in Mumbai. My Tamil is like second to Hindi. So
We'll not judge you.
I'll probably sing one other song, which is like a newer song from Kadal.
Oh,
Netplay is absolutely my favorite
Beautiful.
song. And I love the whole Western arrangement, the harmonies that he does.
Wow.
It's the sheer amount of instruments. And then I saw the Coke Studio version, which was amazing.
For sure.
I'll sing 2 lines of that.
100%.
நெஞ்சுக்குள்ள முடிஞ்சிருக்கு இங்கேயே தீசைய என் பொழப்பு விடிஞ்சிருக்கு வெள்ள பார்வை இது வெட்டி முன்னாடி இந்த தாங்காத மனசு தண்ணிப்பட்ட கண்ணாடி மலவழியாரம் மலது கழியாரம் ஆனா எல்லாம் அடக்கும் அதிகாரம் நீ போன பின்பு நிழல் மட்டும் போகலையே நெஞ்சு குழியில் நிழல் வந்து விழுந்துருச்சே அப்ப நிமிந்தவதா அப்புறமா குனியலையே கொட கம்பி போல மனம் குத்தி நிக்குதே நெஞ்சுக்குள்ள முடிஞ்சிருக்கேன் இங்கேயே தீசைய என் பொழப்பு விடிஞ்சிருக்கும். I love.
That was brilliant. That was brilliant. Oh
I
my.
have no idea how you keep your eyes open and sing so confidently.
Yeah, I can't do that either. I close my eyes. I can't.
Yeah.
When I was younger, my teacher used to say like, you need to open your eyes. It's like there in my head somewhere. But even I have not warmed up. I need to warm up. I just realized while singing Padma and high five.
Yeah, even I realized when I was singing, I had not warmed up because
Yeah.
it's very cold here. Very, very cold.
Mm.
Yeah, I've got a sore throat as well. So yep.
And since you guys mentioned about warming up and all, right? One of the things that obviously as part of the podcast journey that I have learned from the artists is the artists usually have this prime time, like early in the mornings.
Yes.
That's like they're buzzing and then they'll sing and then they'll just literally smash it. Now, I was curious. I said, okay, right. Since you mentioned that, 9 out of 10 times when you go and record with Sir, it's in the middle of the night or at a crazy time like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., or you have waited for nearly 8 hours and then your turn comes at 5 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
Then how do you pull it off then? And then they said that's the magic of working with Sir. And they forget about the strain, they forget about everything when they are with Sir and Sir is in front of them and when he's recording them. So, of course, I mean, I'm just curious, when do you guys do your rehearsals and all? Like mornings, evenings, or doesn't matter?
For me, it's morning because
Yeah.
evening time it gets very busy for me.
Yeah.
Like coming back from work and then it's very late and
Mm.
morning is the best time to do the courage practice, especially it's morning.
Nice. What about you, Shruti?
I have a bass voice, so in the morning I'm even at like lower bass. I can just like male range there. So so yeah, I do courage practice in the morning, but I'm not a morning person per se. So my prime time starts post 6 p.m.
Okay.
5 to 8 is when like I normally tend to record at home. But night, like I can record. I think I have, my voice gets better because unless I've like had a nap or something. Other than that, my voice is like pretty much warmed up by then, and I can hit higher notes. Otherwise, I'm very much at the bass normally.
Nice, very cool. So Vidya, maybe you, I'm sure because of your singing and dancing passion and stuff like that. When do you rehearse?
Rehearsal is like I do that all through the day, but agarams just we have to do that in the morning. So I used to have different gurus just for the agaram, like agara sadhana they say. They just do that. So from 5 to 7, that was a mandatory practice for us. That was just a different guru only for agara sadhana when I was young. So I do the agarams in the morning, but as Shruti mentioned, I'm a night person.
Is it?
My prime time is night. Whatever I do,
I don't know how you guys do it.
learning, that's the reason why I'm very active in our community group during the night, because that's when with the kids and all those things I get my me time only then. But even when I was young, way young, I used to do things only at night.
Wow.
I have written exams without sleeping a wink, because I used to study during the night. Yes.
What about
I'm a bit crazy.
I think some of you are for sure. Padma, are you a night or morning person?
I was a night person throughout my life, but recently I changed my whole lifestyle.
Okay, and why is that?
The lifestyle total change I made it because I realized that self-discipline is very important to manage to do so many things with the commitments that I have, and that is when I changed my whole lifestyle. But throughout my life, I've been a night person.
Oh, you have been a night person before.
I've been a night person, but recently I've changed my lifestyle and I'm getting used to this.
Yeah, interesting. Because I still remember Shruti was awake because she made, in the community or the other chat. I said, this must be pretty late for you. I said, I'm still awake, just wrapping up things. I don't know. I went to bed at 8:15 p.m. last night.
That's just evening for me, Chandra. I was like, oh my god, he's going so early.
Somebody messaged me, Vin and I think someone else, bro, is everything okay? No, because I don't get to sleep much these days because with the podcast, I've slowed down on the podcast so that I can focus more on the other project. And then when the meeting comes up with Sir and his team and all, it's like it is at a crazy time. And the first thing Sir asked me is, Unu tungliya? That's all he asked me first thing. So so the thing is, I don't know. I could never be a night person.
I could probably go on till night, like if I'm doing something as exciting as you are doing, probably I would not be able to sleep because of too much excitement and adrenaline.
Wow. Yeah.
I don't know how you're concentrating on your work, Chandra.
Yeah, because I need that sleep. 3 to 4 hours, that that's the sleep that I get. That's pretty much it. And then comes like I've how should I say? I've aligned my routine in such a way that starting at 8:30 a.m. in the morning up until 4:45 p.m. it's focus on work, and then while at work, I'm also coordinating with some of the guests. And I still remember I mentioned to Shankar Mahadevan sir the other day, sir, it has to be at 4 p.m. so that I can finish the podcast and then go to bed. And then he says, yeah, you're in Australia, I remember, correct. Because he was thinking of 7 p.m. or something like that. I said, that can't happen. And Sir's podcast, when I did it with Sir, he said 9:30 p.m. I don't have an option to go back and say, sir, come at 7 p.m., right? So anyway, I mean, look, it's been absolutely amazing with this podcast session that we just had. And, of course, it can go for hours and hours. And we actually have done an hour and 40 minutes of the podcast already. and that's the magic. And I was like initially thinking, okay, 1 hour should be sufficient. And but that's the thing. Like even when I did the podcast with the other guys in the groups, right? In the group, it went on for nearly 2 hours or something. Then I had to edit it and then bring it down.
I think you're going to cut all my part.
So yeah, I mean, it's been amazing. So before we wrap it all up, I was going to ask, maybe I'll put you guys in the spot again, is of course we have all grown up listening to Sir's music, and we know how much of an impact it has, and it helps us grow. It personally, it helps me day in and day out. I don't think I could exist without his music. I've told him as well about it. If there was a message you want to give it to Sir does watch the podcast, just for your information.
Oh my
He
God.
gets the first copy, and he usually watches it in fast forward mode. And so who knows, he might see the last part of the podcast, where if you had a message for Sir, what would that be? Shruti, starting with you.
Oh my God. There's one place I wanted to actually think. I think, it's very difficult to put it in words, but just the fact that he has a song for every emotion, every occasion, and every person, not just in India and abroad. So I want to ask him that when he started out, what was his vision for his music? When he, in his very, very early years, how did he think about music? And this will be helpful for anyone who's just starting out. So if he can tell us how was his initial journey in the first few years when he was composing jingles and ads and those kind of things as well.
Amazing.
Yeah, if you
Nice.
can start with that.
Of course. And
That-
sorry.
No, that would be all.
Yeah.
I want-
Okay. Great. And Padma.
Yeah, my question would be, while he's composing music, what kind of emotions that he goes through to be able to, compose that level of music which can connect to anybody's soul.
Mm.
I always wonder what is the emotional turmoil or whatever that goes on in his head. I want to know what he feels exactly when he's doing his music. Or does he just do it without thinking about anything, or does he actually feel it before composing that every emotion that he feels it? Like I always wonder, like, how can he do this, such a touching music? It's not easy. It's not easy at all. That I always wondered what exactly goes on in his mind. Of course, it's a genius mind. There are many things would be going on, but I am very curious to know what
Okay.
he'll be thinking.
Great. Nice one. And Vidya?
I would say that, he as a musician, he has given like many magics for us. But
I think your video is frozen. Do you want to stop the video and start again?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Can you see me now?
Not yet.
It's blanked out. But you could hear me, right?
I can hear, but it'll just come up as blank in the video. That's all. So
I don't know what happens. Maybe some technical glitches. I don't know. But anyway, I'll just convey my message to him. He has touched many people's life. I'm just one among them. It takes so many years to even understand his, songs. So I just want to, ask him, like when he actually, come up with his music, like how does he see the notes? Like, does he really visualize those notes? You know what I mean? Like from where he's actually getting the, magic out of it. And I really like his humble personality. The way he's always calm and composed, even when he's put at a spot, the way he handles is like you can learn so many things from him, just not only music. As a human, how he treats a fellow man, the way he treats his wife, I really, admire him for that. For me, I personally think that, he is such a person where you can learn high moral values from. So I really, really love that, smile. I have never seen him, overreacting. Oh my God, how can someone be like that for years, staying calm and composed all the time? Whenever you don't have to listen to his music, you just have to look at his smile and you just melt. You feel that you are touched by something great. So I would say that thank you very much for everything, sir. Thank you. Stay healthy, stay blessed. You are in our prayers. I'm getting a bit emotional here, Chanda. Good that my video has stopped here. Stay healthy. Come up with nice, songs. Do the other thing which I want to mention is like not only music. When it comes to awareness, sessions, he's there to come up with videos on drugs, on cigarettes, on violence on kids. It's amazing, when you get into that. There are people who get into that mode that when they get playing their own music, they don't understand what's going around them. But he's so grounded. He's passing that energy to the whole world, I would say, through music and his actions. I just admire him for everything what he does.
Nice.
I just can't say how much I love him, but I always wanted him to be happy and healthy. And thank you very much for this opportunity, Chanda.
No problem.
Even if he's hearing or not, I feel that I'm blessed that to talk to at least to talk about him itself is a big thing, to be honest.
Nice. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was
Definitely, his sense of humor is like something that is amazing. Like he has one-liners. I've seen some of his Instagram posts following certain controversies that have happened. Like few controversies and he doesn't say too many words, but he just has one-liners. And I always follow what he's posting because he just doesn't post very often or doesn't post something which is he's not like feeling it kind of thing. His Instagram one-liners are amazing, and some of the replies that he's given on shows is like so funny, and at the same time they're satirical. So I really enjoy that.
Yeah, I love his sarcasm sometimes. It's
To be honest, I loved his response to you. Drive safely, Chandar.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. In fact, in Trichy, when I met him, when I was talking to him, I told him, sir, when you're coming to Melbourne again, you should allow me to pick you up at the airport and I'll be the one dropping you at the hotel. He said, yeah, definitely. But will you let me drive? I said, sir, of course. And then as soon as he left, his assistants came, you don't know about sir's driving. So, yeah, his sense of humor is just amazing. In fact, I'll give it away. This room is the ARR room or office room. And as I was setting it up, I took pictures of that and I sent it to sir. Straight away he responded, yeah, looks good. But have you found a girl yet or not? He's on my back to get married. And almost every other time I talk to him, he's like, he'll go around that. Like, okay, so what's happening? Have your parents found a girl or you found a girl? What is it? And then I told him, sir, when I get married, it will happen in Chennai just so that you are there to bless me. And he said, wherever you are, I'll come and bless you. Don't.
Oh my God, Chandra.
And yeah, it's been just magical. Also, the other thing, I get a bit creative on my food. So I shared some of the pictures to him, and then he put a smiley and then wrote, "Good bridegroom material." Ha ha ha. So that's him. That's so for us. So yeah, he's really. He's extremely kind. That's all I can say. So, as part of Sir's podcast, there, of course, I will be talking more about my relationship with Sir and all that. So, I don't want to give it away now, but it's just been a magical ride for me with Sir. That's all I can say. Anyway, guys, we have come to the end of the podcast. I will open up the table. Anyone who wants to sing a line or two can go ahead. So, I will not pick. You can nominate yourself and then boom, go.
I will sing Pudu Vellai Malai. I just wanted to sing the Anupandavi.
Go for it.
பெண் இல்லாத ஊரிலே அடிதான் பூ பூப்பதில்லை. பெண் இல்லாத ஊரிலே அடிதான் பூ பூப்பதில்லை. I just love these two lines, so I'm just stopping it there.
Nice. Okay, I will pick then. Shruti, go for it. I know you want to sing.
No, this song, I know he does it in all his concerts, so I want to like just end with that probably. तू ही रे, तेरे बिना मैं कैसे जीऊं, आजा रे, आजा दिल की ज़मीन पे तू, चाहते हैं अगर आके मुझसे मिल जा तू, या फिर ऐसा कर धरती से मिला दे मुझको.
Beautiful, really good. Well done.
Thank you.
That leaves us with Padma.
Yes.
Since I'm a huge fan of Chitra ji, apart from ARR sir, she comes next to me. She's like my goddess. I would say.
Tell AR sir.
Yes, like I really look up to her, not just for singing, but for her humbleness as an artist, you know, the way she conducts herself. So I'm a huge fan of Chitra ji. So I would sing just 2 lines of Kehna Hai Kya.
Yeah.
कहना है क्या नैनिक अनजान से जो मिले, चलने लगी मोहब्बत के जैसे ये सिलसिले, अरमान ऐसे दिल में खिले जिनको कभी मैं न जानूं, वो हमसे हम उनसे कभी ना मिले, कैसे मिले दिल न जानूं, अब क्या करे क्या नाम ले, कैसे उन्हें मैं पुकारूं, कहना है क्या.
Wow, amazing. Really good. Wow, beautiful. Guys, we've come to the end of the podcast. Thank you heaps for joining. Sorry it went over, and I think it's just almost 2 hours.
Oh.
It didn't even feel like it, because that's the magic of the conversation surrounding AR. So, guys, thank you heaps.
Thank you.
Would like
Thank
to
you for the
from the bottom of my heart for coming.
Yeah, seriously, thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity, Chandar. It really means a lot to us.
Thank you. It means a lot to me too.